The Applicant Physical Ability Test, APAT, is a test of an individual's ability to physically perform essential functions required in the occupation of firefighting, rescue, and emergency medical services. James City County Fire Department has established a minimum level of acceptable performance needed by each applicant to proceed to and to be successful at the Tidewater Regional Fire Academy. Event 1. Ladder Raise and Extension. This event simulates the applicant's ability to raise and extend a ladder. The applicant is to walk 75 feet to the top rung of a 24-foot aluminum extension ladder. Raise the ladder until it is secure against the wall. Proceed to another 24-foot aluminum extension ladder to the right of the secured ladder. Using a hand-over-hand movement, extend the ladder 3 rungs. Once the extended section is secure, move to the next event. If the ladder falls to the ground or the safety lanyard is activated due to the applicant releasing his or her grip, a failure is called and the test is concluded. If the applicant does not use the hand-over-hand movement to extend the ladder, a failure is called and the test is concluded. If the control of the ladder and rope halyard is not maintained, a failure is called and the test is concluded. Event 2. Forcible Entry. This event simulates the applicant's ability to gain entry into a locked structure. The applicant is to walk 75 feet to the forcible entry machine, positioned to either side of the forcible entry machine. Pick up the sledgehammer and repeatedly strike the target area to move it until the buzzer sounds. Once the buzzer is activated, place the sledgehammer on the ground. Move to the next event. If the applicant does not maintain control of the sledgehammer and releases it from both hands while swinging it, a failure is called and the test is concluded. Event 3. High-rise pack and stair climb event. This event simulates the applicant's ability to carry a high-rise pack to an upper story location. The applicant will walk 75 feet to a marked area. An additional 25 pounds using 2 12.5-pound weights will be added to the weighted vest at this time. The applicant will walk 30 feet to the simulated stair platform. The applicant will simulate climbing 3 floors, completely stepping up and down to equal 1 step, for a total of 30 steps. The test escort will be counting the applicant's steps allowed. If the applicant does not complete a full step, a miss will be called and counting will resume when the next full step is completed. Once 30 steps are achieved, the applicant will walk 30 feet back to the marked area. The additional weight will be removed by the test staff at this time. Move to the next event. If the applicant falls once during the stair climb portion, a warning will be called. If the applicant falls a second time, a failure will be called and the test will be concluded. Event 4 and 5. Supply line advancement and pull. This event simulates the applicant's ability to advance and reposition a supply line. The applicant is to move to a position that places him or her at the proper lifting point of the coupling of an uncharged 5-inch supply line. Pick up the supply line and place it over the shoulder and across the chest. Advance the supply line 75 feet. Place the coupling on or beyond the 75-foot line. Walk back to the 50-foot line, drop it at least 1 knee, and pull the supply line back to you until both hands are on the coupling. Place the coupling on the 50-foot mark. Move to the next event. If at least 1 knee does not stay in contact with the ground, a warning is called. If there is a second infraction, a failure will be called and the test is concluded. If the applicant leaves the event without bringing the coupling back to the 50-foot line, a failure will be called and the test will be concluded. Event 6. Ceiling breach and pull. This event simulates the applicant's ability to pull ceilings and/or remove debris from above the shoulder level. The applicant is to move to a position that places him or her at the proper position inside of the ceiling breach and pull machine. The applicant will be handed a pike pull. Position the pike pull on the painted area of the hinged door. Fully push up the hinged door with the pike pull 6 times. Then, hook the pike pull to the ceiling device and fully pull down 6 times. Each set consists of 6 pushes and 6 pulls. Complete 2 sets. Move to the next event. Dropping the pike pull once will result in a warning. If the pike pull is dropped a second time, a failure will be called and the test will be concluded. If the applicant steps outside of the box once, a warning will be called. If the applicant steps out twice, a failure will be called and the test will be concluded. Should an applicant not fully push or fully pull down, the escort will call out miss. If this occurs, that push or pull does not count and the applicant must redo it. It is permitted to stop during this event and readjust your grip. Event 7. Equipment carry. This event simulates the applicant's ability to carry equipment from point to point. The applicant is to move to a position that places him or her at the proper lifting point of the equipment to be moved. Pick up the items and carry them 75 feet to the marked area. Set the equipment in the marked area. Pick up the items in that area and carry the items 75 feet back to the marked area. Move to the next event. These items will alternate between a 16-inch smoke ejector and a large cord reel and a small cord reel attached with a Circle D light. If the applicant drops any items at any time, a failure will be called and the test will be concluded. Event 8. Ventilation. This event simulates the applicant's ability to create an opening for ventilation. The applicant is to move to a position that places him or her at the proper lifting point of the equipment hammer. The applicant will pick up the equipment hammer, walk and position himself or herself on the Kaiser sled. Each foot will be on either side of the I-beam. Repeatedly strike the I-beam at the striking point of the Kaiser sled until it moves a distance of 3 feet, repositioning feet when necessary. Dismount the Kaiser sled. Move to the next event. If the applicant does not maintain control of the equipment hammer and releases it from both hands while swinging it, a failure will be called and the test will be concluded. If the applicant dismounts the Kaiser sled and releases the equipment hammer without reaching the 3-foot mark, a failure will be called and the test will be concluded. Event 9. Victim rescue. This event simulates the applicant's ability to perform a victim rescue. The applicant is to move to a position that places him or her at the proper lifting point of the 175-pound rescue dummy. Grasp the handles at the shoulder area. Either one or both handles is permitted. Drag the dummy 35 feet around a drum and back another 35 feet to the finish line. Once the dummy's feet clear the finish line, the test escort will call time. The APAT is complete. Move to the rehabilitation area. If the applicant grasps or rests on the drum, a warning will be called. The second time this occurs, a failure will be called and the test will be concluded. If the applicant does not go around the outside of the drum, a failure will be called and the test will be concluded.